Well, hello, beauty. Welcome to my channel. I'm Sandy Evenson, and I'm here to talk to you about how you can actually get what you're yearning for. So many of us are in the midst of chaos all around us, trying to keep ourselves together, a lot of anxiety, fear, frustration, anger, sadness, and loss. There's so much going on. And at the same time, we're yearning for something better. And whether it's around our health and wellness, weight management, our money, finances, prosperity, or around relationships and connections, and yearning for the true love, the true connections, for friendship and beyond. So many of us have all of that wrapped up into one. And I wanted to begin a series around what I specialize in, and that's personal empowerment. I am a women's empowerment coach, although occasionally the guys find me. I do specialize in stress reduction, first of all, so that you can relax enough and get clarity enough from that busy brain to move forward, to find how to take those steps to get where you want to be. And most importantly, I find that we get stuck. We get in sort of a loop and don't know how to move past that. So if you find yourself kind of saying, oh, here I go again, and it can be perhaps a different scenario, but the same kind of theme being repeated, or you've tried something and you've done okay, but then it sort of falters out and it comes right back and it's like a mess. And it can just be that yearning for peace and joy. And how do you find that in your busy day? How do you find all the connections you're looking for? And how do you keep your own mind from spinning out of control? So, one of the things that a lot of us do is use affirmations and positive thinking. But how do you do that when there's so much going on? How on earth? And I teach this a lot about how we keep missing the steps around affirmations and the law of attraction and all those things that we want for our abundance and our health and our wealth and our love and our well-being. What do we do? So it's about our energy, and it's about how we can actually harness it and harvest that energy for good. So the first tool, my primary tool that I teach is EFT, the emotional freedom technique called tapping. And we call it tapping because we literally tap with our fingertips on meridian endpoints in our body and on our face. We use the upper body and the face and some on the hands. And as soon as you practice this, with words or without, even when you're skeptical, you will immediately come away from that busy brain, from that fight, flight, freeze, fawn response, from all of the stress that you're under. And if that's the only reason you use it, I highly recommend that you get into a practice of tapping. And I will be taking you through a lot of that so that you can experience it for yourself. I also have other processes and modalities, techniques that I'll share with you as well. Many of those techniques, particularly tapping, are in my book that you see behind me, The Woo Woo Way. And I have been here on video on YouTube talking about it before, so you can go back and see some of those. But the idea is to help you understand your energy system within your body that absolutely runs the show and how you can regulate that. We have this energy system and we have these energy centers called chakras. That's an ancient Sanskrit term for those energy centers. Sometimes they stand for wheel, but they actually don't spin or anything, but they do handle energy. And they are independent, but they're built on top of one another and they work with each other. And so if you're trying to affirm and have abundance come to you, to be your fittest, most healthy self, to have an abundance of wealth and love and joy, etc., it starts all the way down at the bottom. The very first chakra, the root chakra. So in that book, and yes, I've talked about it before, but I just want to say it again, that how I tell it there is through my life stories, which that's what most people like the most about that book are the stories, because they are quite entertaining. Some of them are funny. Some of them are heart-wrenching um, and heartwarming, but within it are the lessons. And I use a metaphor of renovating a house and imagining your inner house of you and how you can go through and inspect and look for what you've left, what you've gotten pushed aside and buried that is blocking you from achieving the things that you truly wish for. So it's a really cool walkthrough, and I act as your guide throughout it. And there are lessons to teach you all of that with my stories, and then also stories from my clients who I've put in witness protection, but to help you see examples of working through situations and moving through high anxiety and other issues with tapping. And at the back of the book is what I call the playbook, because it's not homework, it's home play. And there are exercises that correspond with each chapter in the book. So at the back, in its own entity, is the playbook. And there are incredible exercises, of course, involving tapping, but also other techniques that you will love. So I invite you to read it or listen to it because it's on Audible. There are QR codes and URLs that you can go to for little videos and all sorts of things. So I do invite you to go there to learn more and to be entertained a little bit. I'm working on the second book, which I'm so excited about because as I was in training, during that training, I was doing my initial training to become a coach was called Tapping into Wealth, which is all around the internal blocks that we have around money and earning and whether we're worthy of all of that. And in the middle of that, I did an advanced program on intuitive chakra work. And it was a revelation that I realized so much within both of those trainings, how often I realized I was living through the shadow side of all of my personality strengths. And there are books on that. There's all sorts of things about it, but I'm writing my memoir slash self-help to show you how we can take on these beliefs and even vows about ourselves. So that's what I want to talk to you about as I go through this series of videos. I want to do one at least once a week, and hopefully we'll just see how that goes, because this is unscripted right now, and I'll come to you with notes and everything as we go along. But as we start, it starts with our personal power, our inner power that is always there for us. And we can ignite that. We can look for and uncover those hidden blocks to our success in whatever we want to do. It's truly that potent and powerful to do it in a safe way where you can come out of the dreaming in your head and actually live your dreams by coming down into your body, becoming an observer of things that went on in the past without re-experiencing and re-traumatizing at all. It's trauma sensitive work. We do a lot of mind-body tapping and working with the body. It is truly an amazing process, and it can transform your life like it has mine. I tell that story at the beginning of my book because was such an eye-opening, crazy time for me. But I want you to know, regardless of what you would like to achieve, what maybe you've tried over and over again and it just hasn't worked, this can absolutely help. So as we start with the root, that is our safety, our security, and we often do not feel safe. We don't feel safe in this world right now. There's so much going on and so many concerns, and it's hard to work with keeping ourselves in a higher vibration, sending love out to the world, and making sure that we are radiant for the rest of everyone else we come in contact with. And that can be really hard unless you know these techniques, unless you can free yourself of what's been blocking you. So that first chakra begins at birth or before, when we're in the womb, because we take on that energy from our mothers and from the surroundings that she is in, the situations that she's in. And even if it's good, there's a lot of worry. So we can be in a very unsafe state before we even come into this world. In some of the deeper work I've done for myself, I realized that is exactly where I was and kind of where I stayed for quite a while. But I want you to know that working on that first chakra and allowing ourselves to feel safe, safe in our bodies, that it's okay to be here, to explore, then we get that energy to move up into the second chakra, which is what we call the on fire chakra. And if we refer to the colors that are often given to these energy systems, on the first level at the root is red. And the root chakra is all about everything solid in our life. It's our body and everything around it, the chair we sit in, the desk we're at, the house we're in, the apartments, wherever we are. That is our first root chakra. It's all around us. And I realized after moving this last time, and really as I was writing my first book, that is why moving is one of those top stressors. I think there's 7 they talk about, and one of them is moving, and it's a lot about marriage and moving, death, a lot of different changes, that kind of stuff. So when we move, we're moving our first chakra with us. And sometimes it's still attached to whatever we left behind. But I digress. Think about your body right now. Take a moment and just do a body scan. Now, if you've tuned into me on my daily tap lives, tapping into calm, you will have witnessed this, you will have done this with me, where we just take a moment to check in and see where we're holding our stress. It's a big part of learning this system of tapping. So take a moment and do a body scan. Just take a breath. Feel your feet first. Kind of move your toes. Feel the bottom, the insoles in your shoes or the floor, or if you're outside, the grass, whatever. Just feel your feet, wiggle your toes, and come into your body, wiggle your fingers, and just notice them. And now do a scan from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, moving through everywhere, your head and your neck, ears and shoulders. Do yours come up like this, like mine? I get tense. Just feel it. Upper back, lower back, chest, stomach, abdomen, all around your core, your lower abdomen, belly, pelvis, all your joints, lower back down there, through your legs, all the way to your feet. Where are you holding your stress? Notice it and notice how intense it is. So sometimes we are really feeling it at the base of our spine, right back at that lower back there, which is the kidney area. And that is coming down into the what we call the sunset chakras, that first and second chakra. So just kind of feel into that. This is where we hold fear. This is what begins in the first chakra. Because if we don't feel safe, if we don't feel secure, we're afraid. And often we will go right to our head, into our brain, and try to think things through. And we can even leave our bodies, sort of dissociate, disconnect from it all. Anyone who is not truly bonded when they're born, and in those first maybe, it can depend, but about a year and a half of life, if we haven't truly bonded with our mom, especially, but with our parents, we will live in our head a lot. It doesn't feel safe to be in our body. So if that's you, just notice it. It's something that is part of you, and that's okay, because it means you are a great thinker and you have a lot to contribute. But there are ways to make sure that you get grounded so you don't stay up in the ethers. I actually have to say that I do that. I can go right up into the stars, you know. Let me just float around up there, see what's happening. So understand that you can get grounded easily. And the biggest, easiest thing to do is to tap. If you don't know how to tap, it's okay, because you can follow along with me. But what I want you to do is grab that freebie. I always put it in the description. There are links for everything there. So one of them is from my website, and you can go to my website and get all the links as well. But it is a tapping for anxiety download. And what's in there are two little mini 1-minute videos. What is tapping, for heaven's sake, and how to tap. And I probably did those about 5 years ago, I think. Yeah, I think about 5 years ago now. Could be longer. But they are still great. And they just walk you through. And it comes with a tapping graph as well, a graphic on all the tapping points and where they are. And also this video on tapping for anxiety and stress. And it just walks you through how to do it, and also how to substitute words. So if you're feeling really angry, you can put words in that say, I am so angry, I'm so mad, I'm so pissed off, and actually use 4-letter words and really go in there. So just tap through it. Our anxiety can come from all kinds of other emotions. And so one of the things that I like to have you do is tune into where your stress is in your body and begin to notice and become aware of your body more and more frequently. to notice where that is. And you might think, oh, that's indigestion, or oh, that's just an ache. Be curious about it, and because we always get it in our body first before it goes to our brain. It's very, very quick, but the body always knows before the brain catches up. And it's like a micro millisecond happening. But the more you can tune in to what's going on, the more you can actually move the energy, the more you can stop the busy brain. But even if it's there, it's spinning around, you've got all these worries, you can tap. So I want you to learn to tap, and you don't have to do much. You can just tap on one point. I gravitate to the collarbone points because it's just so much easier. It's right underneath the collarbone there. And I'll show you all of them in a second. So you will have this, but I also want you to download the other so that you have that and you can refer to it as much as possible. And once you get in the habit, it's very, very easy. I will literally tap in the moment. I did a video on that as well a while back, but it's just, you feel something. Maybe you're feeling just a little bit of angst or stress. And for me, sometimes it's in my chest, and I'll feel that sort of shortness of breath, rapid heartbeat, to sort of a kind of feel. I'll just go right there and start tapping. You can tap and walk around and just breathe, and you can get curious. I wonder what that is. I wonder what's going on. And usually, as soon as you do that, bam, it comes to you. But what I can tell you for sure, and this is the science-based part of it, and it is clinically proven, over 200 peer-reviewed studies, evidence-based on the efficacy of tapping. I find it to be, and many others do, faster and more effective than any other technique out there. And it can be combined with a lot of the other techniques. So please try it out. But as soon as you start tapping, you take that breath and you start to tap, with words or without. You're out of your brain. You're into your body. And the body knows instantly how to calm down and how to release. And it is like flipping a switch, because it's this electrochemical energy system within our body. And you can study that. There's lots of science around it with the parts of the brain that are reacting here. Just know that that little teeny tiny part of the brain called the amygdala is the part responsible for that fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response. It's the part of us that survived from early days of mankind, humankind. Survival of the fittest, that was the part of us that came along because we need it. We need it when we don't feel safe, when we're not secure. It's so important for us. So if there's a fire and you need to get out of a burning building, that kicks in immediately, and it allows you, all your energy goes out to your extremities and allows you to run and get out. It allows you to stand up and fight if you need to fight for your rights, to protect a child or an animal. It allows you to hide to protect yourself. It's also that part that gets us into people pleasing, called fawning, where it does help us stay safe. We learn to do that when we're young. All of our survival instinct comes from when we're young. So talking about this first chakra and being safe. When you don't feel safe, you can tap. When you need to stay grounded, to allow your brain to come back online, because guess what? When it goes out to the extremities to protect us, that part of the brain is not working. It's not working. So just know this, as soon as you start to tap, it comes back. And I have to tell you, it saved my sanity when I was first introduced to it. It dropped into my lap right when I needed it most, when I felt like the world was caving in around me, crashing. And I could work with tapping to keep my mind more clear, to make the decisions that desperately needed to be made. So just understand that that's part of what we're doing here. So if you can learn to use this tool, I will be bringing you more and more information from the science side and all of the evidence that's there. I mean, you won't believe how much has been proven already. Let's just take cortisol, the stress hormone, the reason why we gained all that weight around our middles during the pandemic, the reason we get so stressed. It lowers that like crazy. It helps our immune system. It's used for PTSD. It's been approved by the Veterans Administration for our soldiers to help them. And there are beautiful videos on that the veterans have talked about how it has helped them so immensely. And I'm super proud of that because I am a veteran myself, and my late husband um, lived with undiagnosed, untreated, self-medicated uh, PTSD. And it was layered upon by things in his life that made it worse, which is what happens to us when we live our lives. This first level chakra establishes whether we feel we belong in this world. Do I belong here? Am I safe here? It's a big part of the process as I walk people through to help them absolutely see why they might not feel safe and how they can continue to build their foundation, a foundation of that inner house of you that is the root chakra. We work up through that house in all the levels. The basement is the second chakra. Guess what? That is where, if you've ever had a basement, you have one now, or you live in the South where they don't have them, especially along the coast, um, there is a shed out back, or everything's in the attic, right? It's somewhere in the garage. There's somewhere where all that stuff gets placed. So that second chakra is like that. It's where we put things aside. It's where a lot of the things we don't want to deal with, we might deny even having them, forget we have it, and it's all there. But it's mixed up with other things that we have put aside. Our wants and our needs and our desires are mixed up like this in that second chakra. There's like 7 sides to that second chakra. And when we start investigating, becoming an observer within our own inner body, our inner house of you, we can see, wow, the things that I wanted when I was young are still what I want today. What is it that you truly desire? If you want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want to be appreciated for you as who you are, not who someone thinks you should be and your inner critic thinks you should be. So we're going to talk about a lot of that as I come to you. And like I said today, this is very unscripted. Just wanted to get us started because I've committed to coming here, and I've been talking about it on the lives that I'm coming with more for you. So here we are. I want it to evolve around your inner power, your internal energy system, your empowerment energy. It's all about empowerment and the flow of energy that comes up from below, actually from Mother Earth, through you, through your root chakra, rising all the way up through the second, third, into the fourth, your heart. And the manifestation energy that comes down from source through your crown and down through the third eye and your throat into that heart, where it mixes in an engine to empower you to have exactly what you desire, what you deserve, because you deserve better. This is your chance to step away from the craziness and give yourself time to come in out of the busy brain, away from the dreaming, to live your dream. So let's do a little first chakra exercise as I wrap this up. And always you can save these videos and download them, whatever you wish, always returning because they're here for you. And you can simply listen. You don't have to watch, once you have learned where the points are and you've watched, you can just listen and play these again and again, whatever might work best for you. And a matter of fact, with all my clients, they get recordings of our sessions because we do a lot of tapping and other types of techniques. And so they can always have that. They can always remember, oh, I'm feeling such and such, and I really want to get this. And they'll go back to them. So be a part of the community and enjoy going through this. Okay. So, first of all, getting grounded, the best and most beautiful way is to get out onto the ground in bare feet, if weather permits. It's not always possible. It's not even always possible to go outside. So you can look out the window, find a window to look out. Look at the sky, the trees, birds, buildings, whatever is there, and look for that to start to begin to come into your body more. So I want to point out the tapping points today. Remind you again to download the freebie, sandyevenson.com, and grab that so you have it. And then you can come back to me. You can reach out to me through an email, sandy@sandyevenson.com. You can comment on the YouTube channel or message me, whatever works best for you, to tell me what's going on, what you'd like me to talk about, what you'd like to work with. I'm coming to you here. I also have the lives that are short. And I'm also a part of the internet radio show that's syndicated around the world. And it's also available on wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple, etc. And it's called the AWAKEN HOPE SHOw. And there'll be a link below for that, where we're not doing tapping on there anymore. We're talking about it because it is an audio and people don't really capture all of how to tap with it. So, but we are discussing some amazing topics, and we're going through powerful tips and techniques and how to handle all sorts of life situations. So I hope you'll be a part of that as well, because we're growing this community. And a big mission for me is to teach this process and allow people to know that you can control your life in the most positive, miraculous way. And here's the thing about control. We can't control most of everything. We really can't. But we can control our reaction to things, to what life and people are throwing at us. And we can do that with tapping. It's that amazing. All right. So let me show you the points really quickly, and then we'll do something in the first chakra realm. Okay. So first of all, there are points on the side of the hand. Some people still call this the karate chop. It's been corrected mostly to just know that it starts at the base of the pinky and goes down to the bottom of the hand at the wrist in that fleshy part, and you tap with the fingertips of the other hand. This is most often used for what's called a setup point, a setup statement, where you tap along the side of the hand and you repeat a setup statement 3 times. And it can vary how you say it. And I don't always use it because sometimes we're too amped up and we're too anxious, and doing the setup statement, our inner energy system, our subconscious mind will not accept the statement. Because if you're looking at others who do tapping, they'll do it a lot. And it's, even though I feel really stressed today, I love and accept myself. Well, if you're really stressed and you're really anxious and you're really, really worried and you don't trust yourself, you're full of a lot of self-doubt, that doesn't resonate for you yet. So it's okay to skip that part. But it's also a point that you can use on your own just to keep yourself calm. I did this a lot when I was talking with doctors and nurses in the emergency room, in the ICU, with my late husband, and also many other times. So nobody needs to know you're doing it. In those days, I would rest my hands in my lap, and it would just be sort of down by my legs there, sometimes leaning forward in the chair between my legs. So I'd be tapping away. You can do this if you're nervous and maybe you're at a lunch meeting, you're at a dinner, you're at your in-laws. You can do this under the table. Nobody knows. You can lean into the conversation. There you are, tapping away. As you noticed, I can do this under my laptop and you don't see it. So it's a easy, great way to get calm. And let's go to all the points. It does not matter where you start and where you end. I will do what's considered one round, and you'll see what that is. You can tap on both sides because there are points running down, the meridians run down both sides of our body. So you can tap on both sides or just one. And if you get tired, you can switch hands, right? So either or both. And then one thing that I have to say is you don't have to tap all the points. You can tap just one. I gravitate to collarbones here. And it's mostly that if you're going to do all the points, you can kind of just say, well, let me get at least 5 or so. The main part of it is that you actually get where the point is. The first one is the eyebrow point, which is at the end of the brow where it meets the nose, right on that bone. There's actually, on these points, there are little like thinner skin to the bone. It's acupuncture points. So many people go here. That is the third eye, and it's okay to tap on that for specific reasons. But when we're doing tapping in a process like this, we start at the eyebrow and just gently tap. You're not beating yourself up. And then it's the side of the eye. It's not the temple. It's right, again, on that bone at the end of that brow. And then we come to under the eye, right underneath the pupil on the bone. So if you notice, there's an orbital bone where the eye is. And we're tapping there. Next one is under the nose. Kind of in that indentation above the lip. Then it's the chin, below the lips, right in that indentation. And then it's the collarbones. I always say I shouldn't be wearing necklaces and high necks, but find the little bumps, come down and out just a bit. It's like an inch or so into the indentation. That's the collarbone. Some people will actually say under the collarbones, but that's it. You can actually just rub the points or tap them. As I said, I gravitate to the collarbones because it's so easy. I can carry a basket of laundry and tap. But one of the things I did a lot and still do is rest my hand on the breastbone, right over the heart chakra, which is in the middle. If you use your other hand, your left hand, you actually kind of over where the heart is, a little bit to the left. But when you do this, notice the fingertips and thumb are right on those points. So you can tap your whole hand or just your fingertips or rub or just hold it there for security. You can feel this rub a little bit, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Okay, and then the next one is under the arm. I don't always do this on camera, but you can reach across. It's one, let's see, maybe 3 inches, some people 4 inches down, in line with the chest, right on the bra line for us ladies. You can also this way. When we teach children, they love this part, like being like a monkey. And then there's the top of the head right at the crown, and you can kind of circle around with your fingers. As I said before, both hands are one. That's one round. Some people start here and then go to the eye. It doesn't matter. You don't have to concentrate so much on it. It's just if you get exactly where those points are, you will be right on the point that really makes the difference. It's one of the most important parts of all of this. It's so easy. It can be done by anyone, anywhere, anytime. Simply tapping as you go. Now, there's also other ways. There's a stealth tapping that I love to do, that I love to teach kids as well. And it's fingertip tapping. And the points are at the inside of the thumb and then the inner, right next to the nail. So some people teach doing it this way with the other hand, but that's not very stealth, right? Because it's so easy to just use your finger on the thumb and then your thumb on the fingers. You can literally have your hands by your side, tapping away, both or one. I taught a nurse who was in high anxiety during COVID. She was really put in the middle of it, and she could walk down the halls fingertip tapping. So, those are the things you can practice. If you do nothing, just tap here. Put your hand on your heart or tap here. Give yourself permission to come away from all that stress. Because yes, we need this. We need that fight, flight, freeze thing. We really need that. Not the fawn, but we need the other. Because again, if we are in a situation where we need to get out of it, we need that. And then it usually dissipates about 20 minutes later after we've been through that. But when we are in constant stress, chronic stress, which let's face it, 100% of our population is in, it's ongoing, and it creates havoc, not only with our mind, but with our body. And it stays in us. And if we don't have a way to release it, which most of us spent our lifetime not knowing how to release it, we have health issues because we haven't been able to move that energy. And that's what this does. This moves the energy. So it's not stuck there, blocking all that empowerment and manifestation. So if anything else, you want to just feel health, not just, you want to feel healthier. You want to be healthy. Tapping is meant for you as well. Okay, so let's just do a bit of tapping. So you can get started on this, and I'll come back with another one, a specific full one for the first chakra, and then we'll keep going. And I want to intersperse with some of that science stuff, and particularly all the different things that it works on. And then some of the other techniques I have, like some powerful ones for getting a good night's sleep. I know you want that, right? So tapping, if you keep going regularly with tapping and you start working through the issues that you have, that is when you will begin to sleep really well. Okay, so take a nice breath. And once again, notice where you're feeling this stress today. And if you haven't already, give it a number, 0 to 10, where you've been feeling it. You may have it coming down already because I've been talking a lot, but it might have ramped you up because I'm talking too much. So just take a breath again, feeling your feet. And we're going to do some tapping with a guided visualization. So for this one, you can tap on just one spot. If you know all the points and you feel comfortable, you can tap through, or you can kind of just soften your eyes to watch me and follow along. But often it's just, a hand on heart envisioning all of it, okay? So let's go there. Let's just do that. And if you are familiar with tapping and you really like to do all the points, please, there's never a wrong way to do it. You just do it how it is best for you. All right, so hand over the heart. Let's do both for a moment. Feeling into your body. I'm going to take a nice long breath, about 4 counts in. Go at your own pace. Exhale for about a count of 6. We call this decompression tapping without any tapping. It's a vagal breath. Release. Let's do it one more time. In 1, 4, release. Nice. And now tapping here under the collarbones. Imagine that your heart is breathing for you. It's almost like your heart is doing all the inhale and exhale. I'm going to start tapping through the points for a bit, and I might rest on the collarbones again. So you can follow along with me if you wish. Right at the eyebrow. Breathing. Continue to the side of the eye. And you can repeat after me. I have been so stressed. Under the nose. It's been so chaotic. Chin. And I've been so frustrated. Collarbones. Can't get any relief. Underarms, all this stress. Top of the head. It doesn't feel safe. Eyebrow. I don't feel safe. Side of the eye, and I'm so worried. Eyebrow. There's so much happening. Under the nose. For me personally, chin. And all around me. Collarbones. Around the world. Underarm. So much upheaval and chaos. Top of the head. I'm just going to honor all this stress. Eyebrow. I honor how stressed I have been. I honor how stressed I am. I honor everything I've been through. I honor everything I'm going through. Chin. And I'm open to releasing some stress today. Collarbones. all this feeling of unsafety. Let's stay here at the collarbone. I'm open to releasing some stress today and feeling some calm in my system. Coming down now 1 or 2 points into calm. Just for me right now. Okay, take another breath. Just check in and see how you feel. What is your number now? See if it's come down. Just feel into it. If it got ramped up, it just means you hit the nail on the head. There's something there you need to keep tapping on. Reach out if you need support for that. But just keep tapping. Remember, even tapping without words works. It's extremely powerful and potent to say the words out loud, or at least to yourself. So tapping you can go into your bathroom. Your car is fantastic for that. Park somewhere safe. In your bedroom, it's okay. I like to go for walks, do on a power walk and tap while I'm walking. Again, even just here, it's okay. We're doing a little visualization now. You can keep your hand over your heart or somewhere comfortable on your body. Hands in your lap if you wish. Just breathe in. Now I want you to imagine that from the soles of your feet, extending out from the soles of your feet, through your shoes if you're wearing them, are your external chakras. And they're like roots, like big, thick, strong roots of a tree, sort of cable-like even. And they are extending down through the floor, all the way through wherever you are at the moment, through the building, the foundation, through the earth, the top layers, all the under layers, extending all the way through to those underground caves and lakes and streams, continuing on down all the way to the core of Mother Earth. And feeling the warmth that is there for you as she gives you this beautiful red energy, the symbol of your safety and your security. And feel that warmth. Watch it as it comes back up all the way through again, all the way back up and pooling at your feet. Beautiful red energy. And now feel that warmth as it swirls around your feet and your ankles. Warm red energy up around your shins, calves, your knees, upper legs, your hips, and where you're sitting, all the way around. It's beautiful, warm, red energy. And watch as it comes up just below your navel, turning to bright on fire orange, the flame of energy, the fuel to empower you, where all your wants and needs and desires began, and all that stuff we've buried that we haven't wanted to look at. Yet behind those shadow sides of us are gifts, the very gifts you may need. And now, as it rises into the bright yellow of 10,000 suns in your third chakra, the place where we take action towards those dreams we have. And it begins to rise again to the bright spring green of the heart chakra. And now feel and notice the upper antenna-like chakras. We're coming down from source, whatever word you choose for your higher power, the universe, conscious universe, source, spirit, God. Coming down and entering through your crown, beautiful violet. And it continues on to your third eye, that amazing indigo, your intuition, bringing all that manifestation energy down to the throat chakra, a beautiful blue, where you speak your truth, where you are heard, where you write, where you hear others and connect. And now, before we reach the heart, something I've learned about since I wrote that book, the forgotten chakra, that has the combination of the blue and the green, blue-green, from aqua to turquoise, where we speak our truth to the world. Coming back to the heart, the beautiful engine of all this energy. Welcome it in and carry this with you. And whenever you feel any kind of stress, physical, emotional, spiritual, take a breath and start tapping. And remember the feeling of this warm energy that has come up to envelop you. You can bring all that red around you for security and safety and get back grounded with tapping. Okay. That is a very, excuse me, soft energy tapping. We will explore the other ones where we really talk about expressing anger, which is something most of us don't ever want to do. We were taught not to, and we want to be diplomatic, or we want to, hold back. So this will be your safe space to express some of that. I want you to understand that this is a safe spot. And we start with the first chakra, feeling safe, but also I'm here as your sacred witness to hold you in this safe container, this little cocoon of safety. I want to say goodbye for now, but I will be back. Please let me know how this resonated for you, what you might like more of. Is there something special that is really on your mind right now? What is keeping you up at night? What's waking you up in the middle of the night? What are you really worried and stressed about? Because I'll do an entire video on that particular subject and a tapping for it, or another technique that I have. Okay, so stay tuned.